Imagine for a moment the first light of dawn. It catches the dew on a spider's web, turning each tiny droplet into a perfect shimmering jewel. This is water. It is the thunderous roar of a great waterfall, like Victoria Falls, carving its path through ancient rock with immense and unstoppable power. We see it in the gentle lapping of waves on a sandy shore, a rhythm as old as time itself, whispering secrets of the deep ocean. It is the silent, patient frost that paints delicate patterns on a window pane on a cold morning. Water is a master artist, a powerful sculptor, and a quiet companion in our world. It is everywhere in forms so varied and so beautiful that we can sometimes forget its profound significance. Look closer at our own lives, and you will see water is woven into every single moment. It is the steam rising from a morning cup of tea in a London flat, a simple ritual that brings comfort and warmth. It is the joyful shouts of children splashing in a village fountain in Rome, their laughter echoing through the sun-drenched piazza. In the rice paddies of Vietnam, it is the lifeblood that reflects the sky, nourishing the crop that will feed a family. For the Tuareg people in the vast Sahara, a single well is the center of their universe, a gathering place of immense social and spiritual importance. Water is not just a substance, it is a central character in the story of humanity, present in our most mundane routines and our most sacred ceremonies. The immense frozen glaciers of the Arctic hold ancient stories within their ice, silent witnesses to millennia of Earth's history. The mighty Amazon River flows like a vast circulatory system through the heart of the rainforest, supporting an incredible web of life. From the geysers of Iceland to the tranquil lakes of Canada, water shapes the landscapes we call home and in turn shapes the very cultures that arise from them. And yet, because it is so constant, so seemingly infinite, we can take it for granted. We turn on a tap and it flows, clean and clear. We see rain fall from the sky and assume it will always return. But this simple molecule, two hydrogen atoms bonded to one oxygen, is perhaps the greatest miracle of our world. It is the architect of our planet's climate, the cradle of all life, and the silent partner in our own existence. Our own bodies are a testament to the essential nature of water. Each of us is, in essence, a walking ocean. More than half of our body weight is water. It is the silent, tireless worker within every cell, facilitating countless chemical reactions that keep us alive. It carries vital nutrients to our organs and transports waste away, a constant internal river system. Our blood, which delivers oxygen to every part of our being, is mostly water. It regulates our body temperature, cooling us when we are hot and insulating us when we are cold. Without a regular supply of this precious liquid, our bodies simply cannot function. This dependence extends directly to the food on our plates. Every grain of rice, every stalk of wheat, every fruit growing on a tree is a product of water. Agriculture is quite simply the practice of managing water to cultivate life. A single apple, for instance, requires tens of liters of water to grow from a blossom to the fruit we hold in our hand. Vast irrigation systems, some ancient and some modern, crisscross our farmlands, diverting rivers and tapping into underground aquifers to quench the thirst of our crops. Without a reliable and clean water supply, our fields would turn to dust, and our ability to feed the billions of people on this planet would vanish. Food security is, at its very core, water security. Beyond our farms and our bodies, water is the quiet engine of our industries and our cities. It is used to generate electricity as it flows through the giant turbines of hydroelectric dams. It is essential in manufacturing nearly every product we use, from the clothes we wear to the computer on which we rely. It is used to cool the machinery in power plants and factories, preventing them from overheating. Our modern way of life, with its complex technologies and sprawling urban centers, is built upon the assumption of readily available water. This hidden consumption, this virtual water embedded in our products and energy, is immense, and it connects our daily choices to water sources often thousands of miles away. So, you see, water is not merely something we drink when we are thirsty. It is the foundation of our health, our food systems, and our entire global economy. It is the unsung hero working behind the scenes in every aspect of our lives. From the most basic biological process within our own cells to the most complex industrial operation, water is the indispensable ingredient. What happens when this fundamental element becomes scarce? The story is not a pleasant one, and it is a reality for a growing number of people. It begins with the land itself. When the rains fail and the rivers shrink, The earth cracks open, as if in pain. Lush green landscapes fade to a desolate brown. Farmlands that once supported generations of families become barren wastelands. The soil, deprived of moisture, turns to dust and is carried away by the wind, leaving behind a sterile and unforgiving terrain. This process, known as desertification, is a slow, creeping disaster. It is the planet itself showing visible signs of thirst, a silent cry for the water that no longer comes. This environmental collapse has a devastating human cost. For communities facing water scarcity, life becomes a daily struggle for survival. Imagine walking for hours under a scorching sun, not for work or for school, but simply to find a few liters of water for your family. This is the reality for millions of women and children around the world. It is a burden that steals time, erodes health, and extinguishes opportunity. When water sources become contaminated, diseases like cholera and typhoid can spread with terrifying speed, turning a precious resource into a deadly poison. The absence of water is not just an inconvenience, it is a profound humanitarian crisis that strips people of their dignity and their future. History provides us with stark warnings. The decline of the great Mayan civilization in Central America is believed to be linked to prolonged periods of severe drought. Their sophisticated society, with its monumental architecture and advanced knowledge of astronomy, could not withstand the collapse of its agricultural base when the water disappeared. More recently, the shrinking of the Aral Sea, once the fourth largest lake in the world, stands as a catastrophic example of human mismanagement. The diversion of its feeder rivers for cotton irrigation turned a thriving ecosystem into a toxic desert, devastating the local fishing industry and causing widespread health problems. These are not just stories from the past, they are cautionary tales for our present. The consequences ripple outward, affecting all of us. When a region can no longer support its population due to water scarcity, people are forced to move, becoming climate refugees. This can lead to overcrowding in cities and place immense strain on the resources of neighboring areas. The global food market is also affected, as droughts in major agricultural regions can lead to crop failures, price spikes, and shortages that are felt thousands of miles away. The drying of a river in one country can have profound economic and social consequences for people on the other side of the world. In our interconnected planet, no one is truly immune to the effects of water scarcity. It's easy to think that our modern challenges with water are unique, but humanity has actually been grappling with this issue for millennia. Ancient civilizations, born in some of the world's driest regions, understood a fundamental truth, that water is the ultimate treasure. They didn't just use water, they revered it. In ancient Egypt, the entire civilization was organized around the annual flooding of the Nile River. This event wasn't seen as a disaster, but as a divine gift, a source of renewal and fertility. Their calendar, their religion, and really their very survival were intrinsically linked to the rhythm of the river. They respected its power and planned their lives in harmony with its cycles. This respect was translated into some pretty incredible feats of engineering. The Nabateans, who built the magnificent city of Petra, right in the heart of the Jordanian desert, were masters of water harvesting. They carved intricate channels, dams, and cisterns directly into the sandstone cliffs, capturing every precious drop of infrequent rainfall. This kind of ingenuity allowed them to support a bustling city and even lush gardens in one of the most arid environments on Earth. Similarly, the ancient Persians developed the Qanat system, a network of gently sloping underground tunnels that brought water from mountain aquifers to settlements in the plains, all while preventing evaporation under the hot sun. These weren't just technical solutions, they were expressions of a deep understanding of the value of water. Across the world, we find similar stories of ingenuity and reverence. In the high Andes of Peru, the Inca and pre-Inca cultures constructed vast terraced fields called andinis. These structures not only created flat ground for farming on steep mountainsides, but also acted as a sophisticated system for water management, slowing runoff, reducing erosion, and allowing water to seep into the soil. In the dry landscapes of ancient Sri Lanka, kings commissioned the construction of thousands of interconnected reservoirs, or tanks, creating a hydraulic civilization that could withstand seasonal droughts and support a large population. These societies didn't have our modern technology, but honestly, they possessed a wisdom we seem to have forgotten. This wisdom was woven right into their cultural and spiritual fabric. Water was often personified as a deity, a spirit to be honored and appeased. Fountains, springs, and rivers were considered sacred places. This worldview fostered a really powerful conservation ethic. Polluting a water source wasn't just an environmental crime, it was a sacrilege. This deep-seated cultural respect ensured that water was managed carefully, not just for the current generation, but for all the generations to come. The legacy of these ancient peoples is etched into the landscape, a timeless reminder that survival and prosperity depend on a harmonious relationship with water. The story of water throughout human history is really a story of two paths. It can be a source of profound cooperation, or it can be a catalyst for bitter conflict. The great river systems of the world, like the Nile, the Tigris-Euphrates, and the Indus, flow across modern borders. The actions of one country upstream can have dramatic consequences for its neighbors downstream. History is filled with tensions and disputes over shared water resources, moments where competition for this vital liquid has pushed nations right to the brink of hostility. These conflicts remind us that when water is scarce, it can become a weapon, a tool of political power used to control the destiny of others. Yet, for every story of conflict, there's a story of unity. Shared water challenges have often forced communities and nations to work together, creating treaties and agreements that have lasted for centuries. The Indus Waters Treaty between India and Pakistan, for example, has survived multiple wars between the two countries, a testament to the recognition that cooperation over water is essential for mutual survival. These agreements show us a different way forward. They demonstrate that shared basins can become bridges for diplomacy, fostering communication and collaboration where there might otherwise be mistrust. Water can be a force for peace, reminding us of our shared humanity and our common dependence on this single, fragile planet. Today, we stand at a critical juncture. The pressures on our global water supply are greater than ever before. A growing population, expanding industries, and a changing climate are all placing an unprecedented strain on this finite resource. The choices we make now, in this decade, will determine which path we follow. Will we descend into a future of greater competition, where water scarcity fuels instability and conflict? Or will we choose the path of cooperation, innovation, and shared responsibility? The answer to that question lies in our collective hands. It's a choice that will define the 21st century and shape the world we leave for our children. The future doesn't have to be one of scarcity and struggle. We have the knowledge and the technology to build a more secure water future for everyone. From simple techniques like rainwater harvesting to advanced technologies for water recycling and desalination, the solutions are within our grasp. It requires a shift in our perspective, a return to the ancient wisdom of seeing water not as a commodity to be exploited, but as a precious gift to be protected. By saving water in our homes, supporting sustainable agriculture, and demanding responsible water management from our leaders, we can each play a part. We can ensure that for every child everywhere, the sound of clean, flowing water remains a promise of health, hope, and a better world to come.